do this.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Can I get a oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yup.
You guys just didn't commit. You guys have commitment issues.
What's up, guys? This is Kyle the Worst here. You're tuning in to The Worst Show. As always, I got my co-host, Moon, over here, a.k.a. Fuck Terrence, if you want to go follow him on Instagram. You love it. Hey, and today we got a special guest, and we got another special guest. So, welcome to The Worst Show, 'cause it's the worst show. Yeah. Okay, cute. All right, so today we have one special guest who is a returning co-host. His name is, do you want to be called your like Instagram handle, or do you want to just go by Kareem? Devin?
Hey. Kareem.
And we got Kareem. Kareem, say what's up.
What's up, everybody?
All right, that's all you need.
Wow.
And for our main featured guest today, he is an independent creator. He's partnered with brands like Vans Warped Tour, Craftsman Tools. He's also done some production with Theo Vaughn and Carlos Santana. Welcome, Jimmy Rector.
Yeah, nice.
Oh my God. How you doing today, my guy?
I'm great.
You want to tell people a little bit more about you than the brief rundown? Yeah. What do you do?
What do I do? Well, I've always been making shit, since we were just kids in the basement that we still make shit in Marshall.
The exact same basement.
So whether it's like movies or videos or music or something, I always just have been super creative. And then when I got into like trying to get paid a lot of money to do it, I realized how important like the marketing was. And then I realized how important creative people were for the marketing and the storytelling. And now I just kind of mix and blend storytelling and data analysis to where it like kind of fits my nerdy side and my creative side together. And that's usually what like helps me get like bigger gigs, is just knowing a little bit of data about them and knowing a little bit about how to track the media's performance and stuff like that.
Hell yeah. So you've worked with some bigger artists, some bigger people. How did you actually like go about even getting to that point? Like, how did you figure out and what did you do?
So like I've had a lot of opportunities that I'm super grateful for, and the first ones came through a drum company startup. So it was like a custom drum company out of Chicago, and I was playing in this band with me and some people from my hometown called the Victory Lap. And we would do, you might remember that era.
Yeah. Victory Lap.
So it was like pop punk music and, or whatever you want to call it.
What a time.
And we ended up like following the Warped Tour to try to hustle and get fans, right? So we'd pack up in a van and we would follow the Warped Tour, and we would get up at 7 or 8 a.m. and go to the 500 people in line and try to sell CDs to every single person in line.
No shit.
So
it really takes like that boots on the ground mentality to like get put out.
That was some straight up hustle shit, dude.
Yeah, you were saying something and he kind of like related to it. So I guess that's kind of makes sense to explain why you're here, how we got you on here.
Yeah. We grew up in Marshall together, and were you there? Did you grow up your whole life there?
Oh yeah, I was born in Marshall.
Yeah, so we know the whole ropes there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
the
so
ins and outs.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take that long to learn.
Yeah,
you could have been there a year.
It's a 10-minute tour.
Yeah, he took me there recently, and that's where I met you too.
Yeah,
and you guys got what's called the Square.
Yeah,
it's our downtown.
Yeah, it's
epic downtown. It's just really, ours is one way, so it really screws over the.
It's one way. It's one way, two lanes.
Yeah, and I saw two people driving the wrong way. In the right way, if it was a 2-lane going both ways.
Dude, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's very fucking confusing. I'm not gonna lie, but
we know who's local and who's not.
Yeah,
real quick.
Yeah. But it kind of like it amazes me to see so much like creativity coming out of such a small town as well. Like Marshall, Missouri. A lot of people I don't think have heard of the place, but it seems like, I mean, found this guy from there. And it sounds like you guys, like even your class had a very creative group to it.
Yeah, I was lucky to grow up with like super creative people, and a lot of those people I still work with today. Like we shot a movie in Marshall with a lot of these people who were from the video production class. It was called Al TV, and what we would do is this is when I was like, I only took it 1 year, but I think it was a sophomore, and it was a class in high school where we had a green screen in a room like this, and the teacher built us a teleprompter, and we pretty much had like a news show that me and my friends, not all the stories, we didn't take them that serious.
Right.
So it turned into like half
Yeah,
satire, half,
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle. And we would produce a 15-minute TV show that aired on local cable, and we would do that every week. And I found out that a lot of the other classes like didn't put a show up every week, but we were just like,
Dude, I honestly think it ended after your class left.
dang.
Like, his class was like, your class was like the only class that was like trying to create something other than just like going to high school and then going to college after. Like, you guys are actually trying to like pursue something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wish more people could get just like exposed to Adobe a little bit earlier. Because that changed my whole life. Like I still today use what I learned in that high school class on how to make a TV show, and it aired on cable, right? Like nobody even watches that anymore.
Live ass television type shit.
Yeah. And it wasn't a big show or anything, but I will say that the old ladies knew who we were when we were working at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Patricia's.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the only grocery store there?
It was before Walmart came in and closed it down.
You guys got a fucking Walmart there?
Super Center now.
Yeah,
Did we
don't
just drive by right there? Did we just drive right past it?
It was like
So-
whenever we were leaving town, it was like you could have went straight and then busted like a right, and it would have been.
What is the population of this city that we're
It's
speaking
about
of?
12 or 13,000.
It's around like 13,000.
I did hear recently that the population is on a decline.
No
I
shit.
believe it.
Everybody's getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah, dude.
It's because they don't got people like you trying to construct these things. You know what I mean?
There's just nothing there for like kids.
Yeah, there's no
It's
like,
pretty much a retirement town.
Y'all took me
honestly.
to a park.
Yikes.
It's a
yeah,
retirement town. It's where like
there's a nice park. We used to throw shows there.
yeah.
That shit was fun. And yeah, that's the thing. There's just no place to cultivate that as a part of their life when they're early. Therefore, it's not going to like be a part of them, right? And so you really have to decide after you leave that you want to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know people who are from Marshall who are still pursuing this, who just graduated college, but now they're freaking out because they don't know how to get a job there. And it's like you just can't get a job in production there that's going to
It's not
pay
that
you
simple.
anything. That's where they just don't value these skills there.
Right.
And it's nothing against any artist. It's just the market there, right? And that's just kind of been the issue. Like we have a tennis coach, right, who cultivates these children from the time they're like 8 or 9 or probably younger up through college. It's one family that has this like tennis like thing, and so we had this because of that and because of the love that they put into it. Like we had a tennis program that kicked ass, and like we got fourth at state. We're these public school like hood rats coming into this private school world, and like, but that's because there was a tennis coach there who really cared and who taught kids from when they were young. And then she was a high school coach, and her son was a college coach. So it was this like thing where they could cultivate talent just in tennis is how they did it.
Just a very passionate family who were like wanted to help kids.
Yeah.
Only in tennis.
Huh?
Only in tennis.
Only tennis.
Only tennis.
Well, and
Everything else.
you had a
Everything else was
class set up and dedicated to like this creative space for you guys. But did you really have any like guidance in that class, or
we had like no guidance? And that was one of the coolest things. Actually, it's probably the ended up being the best part of that class was because he knew that we needed the gear, and so he would go to like these I want to say like army surplus like sales or like big sales, and he would get this super outdated gear and just load the class up with all this old gear that still works. So when we started, we were still using tape, and we were still transferring to tape. And I don't know if like it wasn't really like before that, it was just before the transition. It was just like we were using old gear and having to do what we did. So we shot in tape, you captured to the computer in real time, and then you edit it, so it is digital. So you pretty much watch it, and as you watch it, it captures it, and then it's a digital file.
Got it.
So it took a lot longer, but that's the gear we had.
Which is crazy.
Right?
It's like that just goes to show like how determined you guys were to do something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the green screen stuff we did was just terrible, but you know, we did it consistently for like 45 weeks or something like that. Maybe it's however many weeks are in a school year, I can't remember, but like we did it.
I don't even remember school, I'll be honest. Let alone how many weeks. I know that summer started in June.
Yep.
So
finally summer break, right? Finally.
Yeah.
I get to take a load off. Yeah, but that class was super influential to my whole career. And there was like my class, I graduated in 2010, a class of 010 as we like to call it. And there was there's a class like a couple years old than us, maybe 3. And like out of that Owl TV class, there's like 3 or 4 people who went on to work production in LA and Atlanta and traveling. Like one of the guys worked on the Pickers show, American Pickers.
Yeah.
One of the guys was the camera guy for that. From
awesome.
Marshall, right? And there's a Netflix show coming out called Chad and JT Goes Deep, and the guy who did our audio for Crap Artists did the audio for that show.
Oh, shit.
And so there's like people who came out of this class who are working on Netflix stuff.
Yes,
you know?
that's nice.
And it's
that's
like
nice.
that class literally changed a lot of people's lives, and it just doesn't exist there anymore.
It opened up like a whole new world.
Yeah.
And I feel like that world or that door closed after your class.
It very well may have.
Yeah.
We were kind of crazy with it. We went deep. We took it.
So, do you think it
high school
closed?
was terrible for me.
Do you think it closed because like the next classes up or below just didn't seem to have that same like gumption about it, or
Had to have been because nothing else probably changed.
yeah,
I mean, it's not like all the gear was there.
yeah. Well,
right?
it's like with like my high school wrestling, like we had one of the biggest wrestling groups in my graduating class, and it was like 20 people. And the next year after that, there was 1 person on the wrestling team. And the next year after that, there was no more wrestling
Just
program.
restart,
And so it was like,
Just
I
disappeared.
wonder where that all comes from, and like, is there still that like program there, or
It's gone.
Yeah.
And I went in and I actually talked to the superintendent about it, and I was like, this like made my whole career, and all these people that you think it's cool that I get to work with them, like that's because of this class, and now the class doesn't exist. And they heard me out, but there's nothing they could just do about it.
fell on deaf ears, kind of just.
Yeah.
I mean, funding is a big part, and
yeah.
I feel like a lot of
You just get
It's
free
just,
old gear.
just where they put their money at.
yeah, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
things go into sports.
Yeah,
Because
so
sports bring out
they get new
fans.
stadiums and
Yeah.
new fields and shit every like couple of years.
Right.
It's just so
That shit
unnecessary.
bugged the crap out of me. I mean, financially it makes sense. I can't really argue against it because like the football people would sell tickets, right?
Yeah,
It's not like Netflix was buying our TV show for $50,000 or
right.
like
But if
$500,000
they did,
every year.
There would be a game changer.
It's true.
Yeah.
How do you think you, as like a production side of things, how did you find the ability to put yourself in that position for that? Did it all come from the Vans Warped Tour, like following that,
Everything, and I'll say most of it started here in Columbia because that band, the Victory Lap, we moved our home base here, and everything I've ever done, whether it's video, audio, websites, marketing, every single thing is based around just being able to play music. So it's like if my band needed a website, I had to learn how to build a website, right?
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and I had to learn how to run, I had to learn how to custom code a MySpace page so
Right.
we stood out.
Man. Oh, yeah. MySpace.
that top
Oh,
10, bro?
Oh yeah, the top 10.
The
My
ultimate
favorite-
power.
my favorite.
It's the
Man.
top 8.
Top 8. Damn.
It rose to 4, bro.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
shit.
You could change it.
You
could
could
change
after a while.
Yeah.
After you youngins
Listen.
came in.
Hey.
The customization that you could do on MySpace.
Oh my
I,
god.
I remember they were talking about how Facebook was talking about bringing like music onto the theme,
The
like
platform,
your
yeah, 'cause-
homepage and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, 'cause
It's like, bitch, that's MySpace.
That
what
was
are you,
definitely
what are you doing?
MySpace.
Tom's just chilling.
Mhm. And you know who was doing that was these guys created this app called Bands in Town, and it was like this plugin on the band page to try to expand it.
Yeah.
And before like you may have heard in Bands in Town Now, which is like this content promotional like tool or whatever, which I got to meet the founder of that app who bought it from those dudes who put it on Facebook. And he essentially said they had no business sense. They just made this like back end tech that plugged into Facebook early on.
Damn.
But yeah, they tried to be MySpace and it didn't work. And ever since MySpace, I've been trying to figure out how to help really help creative people like understand what it means to own your traffic, own your data, own your assets.
Yeah.
Because we had a very successful band that was like, after that Hustle on Warped Tour, you know, we had a bunch of fans on there, and we were like getting onto Warped Tour and starting to play Warped Tour. And because MySpace shut down, all of our data and all of our stuff just disappeared, and we had to start from scratch again. So like a big part of my mission nowadays is to help creative people understand the value of owning your relationship with your fans. And because when you just do it on YouTube or Instagram or, you know, anything like that, any socials, you don't own the connection, you don't have their email, you don't have their phone, you can't actually like really contact them. It is a way to contact them, but they could close down at any moment, even though they feel pretty stable, you know. But
so getting someone's email is everything.
Yes.
I mean, for any sales, like for any brand, for any company, like you as an artist, you are your own company. And I don't think people think about it like that. They see it as I'm an artist, like I make this. No, you are a literal company of yourself. You got to figure out how to market that. You got to figure out how to build that fan page, that directory of people, of clients, so to speak, which they're clients, but they're still your fans. They're your family.
Yeah, they're like, it's like building a community, you know, just being able to communicate them. And then there's another way to do that, like with Discord groups, where it's like, yeah, you still don't really own it, but people trust it a little more. So like I've started, for one product I have, it's like a little bit older crew, and they don't get on Discord as much. But like for younger things, like for Super Duper Big Deal, we meet on Discord every Monday, you know, and it's like this crew that's starting to develop. And I'm kind of starting to use Discord as the email list. So like you get people there, and you'll, you know, it just feels also just like a real connection.
Discord that has like different channels on it, correct? Like, so what are some of the channels that you have?
All right, so we got like, first we have an introduction where everybody can introduce themselves, and then we have an info and about and a general chat and a way for people to promote themselves, and then we break down the whole promotion content funnel process. So right now what we're doing, so if you get in there, these docs will be in there in maybe like 2 weeks, but we're working on like literal documents and systemized processes for Facebook engagement, for Facebook ads, for Instagram ads and engagement, for TikTok, for Spotify growth, for content funnels, for ad funnels, for, you know, the process of getting someone to not know about you to know about you, and then someone to know about you and become a fan, and then a fan, and then a customer, and then a customer, and a lifetime customer, and which turns you into a true fan.
Yeah.
And so just we're like breaking, like all this stuff to me is pretty simple at this point, but it's because I spent 10 years nerding out on it.
Right.
So we're trying to figure out how to take this information that the e-commerce world has been using and monetizing for like years now, probably 20 or more, 30, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fucking while.
Yeah, like it's there now, and now there's a bunch of tools for artists that make it simpler, and we're trying to create like just ways to communicate the importance of this in a very simple way, right? Because I can say content funnel, ad funnel, and all that stuff just kind of can be complicated, but it's really just videos people watch and how you retarget people with ads based on how they engage, right?
Yeah.
And what that can do in those tactics, what they could do is like save an artist like 80% of your budget if you advertise the right way, right? And saving 80% of your budget because any company or artist is great.
No cap.
Yeah, it's very valuable. So is that what Super Duper Big Deal is? I took a look at the website and I saw the Discord and stuff, but why don't you go ahead and like go into it?
There's like, right now there's two parts, right? There's like the production company side, and then there's like the community education side. And it's really all the same thing. We're helping empower creative individuals to be self-reliant and self-sustainable producers, right?
Okay.
And what that means is teaching them the marketing stuff, teaching them the branding stuff, teaching them the community stuff. And then sometimes it even means working on a project with them.
Okay.
Right. And so one of the projects we have right now is the Ozone, which is a bass education app and music education app that we did in collaboration with the bass player from the Allman Brothers and the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And so we teach music there, again, lowering the friction and upping the visual side. We teach by shapes, geometry, and ear training. So we don't teach music by music theory, even though it's in there, but we make the friction point lower. If that makes sense. So like I've recorded on exactly. No,
Exactly.
Yeah, I know there's only 12, dude. You can't fool me. Yeah. But like I've been able to play on some of Jay's records now.
Yeah.
But I don't know the notes. But I know the patterns that I can do within certain worlds of notes.
Basically based off of the geometry and theories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, that's wild as fuck. Oh yeah, you're also Jay's brother.
Yeah, I'm Jay's brother. When's he on the? When did his air yet?
Tomorrow.
Is Eric? Well,
Technically, it's already out, right?
It's technically already out, but yeah.
Watch it.
That was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I started working with Terrence more. Was just seeing him work with Jay and just kind of merging those worlds, really.
Yeah.
You know.
For the whole, it's super duper big deal.
Yes. Not your ordinary big deal.
Yeah. Super duper big deal.
Yeah.
I fuck with the name too. It sticks out. I was like, damn, that's clever as fuck. And it kind of like gets to the point of what it is.
Yeah.
It makes it
super duper big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like there's a process to trick people into thinking you're a super duper big deal. And as long as your art and your work backs it up,
Yeah.
that's all any label or any Hollywood promotions company has ever done.
No, exactly. And that's why like everything I do is backed by the worst because it's all shit garbage.
Well, so is our
Yeah. Garbage.
Yeah.
It is trash.
That.
Wait, you didn't snail me.
Yeah, because I meant that one.
Oh, cool. But so off of this production company, is that what you would consider a production company?
We have a production company side that's based more on video, and it helps with the video education side, but also helps with the film side.
Okay.
And then we have a record label kind of unit, and then which we just put out. We put out 3 pieces so far this year on the record label side. And then we're working on the pilot for the film side. So we have education, record label, and film.
Just the trifecta.
The trifecta.
Do you like sell a membership or like is it just nonprofit kind of or what?
You could say it's ran like a nonprofit, and the company is definitely nonprofit. It's not a 501c3, but there's no profit. Don't worry.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
But it's all like, and I actually I had a call with my friend at Meta the other day, or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, telling him, I was like, we want to do this thing and we want to spread this knowledge, but we don't want to paywall it, specifically because this information needs to like just be shared, right? Like people like us need to know this. Whether we decide to act on it or not is up to us, right? But we need to know it, and people need to know it. And there's plenty of people who charge $40 to $80 a month to do this stuff, or schools that charge $42,000 a year to learn this stuff, right?
Yep.
Speak.
So we want to give it out for free because democratizing and demystifying this information is like crucial towards the next generation of creative people.
Yeah. Not being a gatekeeper in a sense, you know. Fuck gatekeepers anyways.
And so we were talking to Instagram, or my homie over there, and he's like, there might be an opportunity for us to help get this word out, right? So hopefully, and I don't know if they're going to be the ones that come through or it's going to be another type sponsor deal or what, but we're going to get someone to sponsor the education and sponsor the content production so that we can give it out for free. Because if I got to invest in it, we have to make that money back. Like I don't have to make money on top, but it still makes money, or it still costs money to make 600 to 800 videos a year, you know?
Yeah.
So that's our goal. And they're not going to be long. They're going to be short form. They're going to be like all reels, right? But like power hitting.
I mean, impactful, eye-catching shit like that. Just because
time saving things that like someone's like been like, I've been working on this thing for 3 hours on Photoshop. How do you do it? And I'm like, oh, do.
A little 30-second video.
And I'm like, that could save every creator who watches that video 3 hours, and that's pretty valuable to me. So things like that'll save you time and save you like your assets in the long run with like the legal side of things, you know?
Right.
Which I've just nerded out on this stuff so long, I forget how many people don't nerd out on it their whole life.
Yeah.
You know, and
I mean, we graduated. You said you graduated in 10?
Yeah, we're the class of 2010. Yeah.
Same.
Oh,
so, yeah. But I've been doing this for like 4 years. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning this shit. And YouTube became my college as soon as I figured it out. What?
I didn't know that. I graduated at 15.
Respect.
You graduated in 15? What's the little baby? It's a little baby.
You grow up so much.
Whoa, bitch.
Oh fuck yeah. But yeah, so it's
So
like
you've only done it 4 years.
yeah, I've been doing this 4 years, but it was like I didn't have that class. Well, truthfully, we might have had a class like that in high school. I just did not give a shit about high school.
Respect.
Like I thought it was the biggest time waste of my life. I barely showed up, and then like spent the rest of my like after that kind of fucking around.
Yeah.
And then at one point I was like, I don't want to just fuck around anymore. Like I want to do something.
Yeah.
And then it led to like figuring that out, doing tons and tons of different things until I realized what I truly loved. And it was this. And that's when I engulfed myself in it like you did 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing,
Yeah.
really. And I'm hoping to save people like that 10 years of research.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really what I want to break it down and make it happen. And I want to give it to people for free. I don't want to be like, pay me $3,000 and I'll save you 10 years. I want to be like, here's this.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm totally interested already after
You know.
talking to you about it.
And all you got to do is go to superduperbigdeal.com and hit the green button, join the Discord.
Let's get it.
Yeah. And we meet every Monday at 10 a.m. and it's just like a round table, And sometimes it's only 3 to 5 people showing up, but it's the people who show up every week that are going to get the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Take
know.
it serious. Yeah.
It's just a hang.
Yeah.
It's really just a hang. But
Sure.
we see who's going through what issue. Like, I'm having trouble selling tickets to this show. What can we do? And I'm like, adjust your ads this way, put budget into this, think about this,
So you kind of like have an understanding of SEOs and things like that as well, or
Yeah. And SEO is a tricky thing now. It's not near as important as it used to be.
yeah,
It's important for getting your website set up, but like SEO stuff doesn't weigh as heavy on making sales and stuff anymore.
Okay.
It can, depending on some markets, but like I've just never seen it as the most important thing because there's so many different
I mean, there's
aspects of it.
TikToks and Reels now that
Yeah.
can distribute. All right, so I got a question then. Say somebody's starting off, they're trying to grow something, they got like $3,000 to like try to grow and
Yeah.
expand. What would you tell them to do? Like first few
First,
steps.
I would do an audit on them and their content and their plan. So I would like ask them questions like, or let's just say you're doing that, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, you have $3,000, but what are you gonna sell? Or do you just want to grow your channel and leverage that asset into like brand deals?
Yeah. Or so like say from the worst production standpoint, we do photography and videography as well on top of like the podcast and things like that. So
Yeah.
ideally it would be I want to get more clients on top of expanding the audience of the
Yeah.
visuals that we create. So
Cool.
which do
Like
you think?
expand. I would say that there would be now. What are your social channels? Do you have like one for the podcast, or is it all under the worst production?
It's all under the worst production.
And on you, and what's the link in your bio?
The link is normally an updated YouTube podcast.
Okay, right on. So then that's where everyone who sees your Instagram reel is going to go, right?
Yeah.
So, is there anywhere on that channel or the website that say what you do and showcase your other work?
Yeah, it talks about you open it up. First thing you see is featuring or produces live shows, music videos, photography. And then it says like podcast at the very end.
And that's like on the header.
Yeah,
Okay, tight.
it's like the bio.
Right on. What I would do to help, because you got to take people from one point to the other, right? And right
Right.
now you're gonna take people from short form content to your long form content about the podcast, which is
Yeah.
a great way to sink in and get people,
Yeah,
But I think you need a trailer on your YouTube that explains that you do the podcast and you do these other things.
Right.
Right. So you just got to make sure that everyone who's watched, because those are your top of funnel leads, right? There's content funnels and sales funnels, and it's all getting people to not know about you to spend money with you or just enjoy your content,
Yeah.
depending on the goal, right?
well, and enjoying the content is a form of monetization at a certain extent too.
Yeah.
So
and it's a real scalable,
yeah,
And so I would say that usually I wouldn't have my link go right to my YouTube.
you want it to be a big funnel.
What I would say is this is just a simple workaround that can help you gauge your traffic. So first things first, you need to have all the pixels and Google Tag Manager stuff set up on your website. The good thing about people watching your YouTube is you can retarget the people who watch your videos.
Okay.
So it goes into like, you got to develop a product stack and a content funnel and an ad funnel. So let's say that your products are, let's say you have a day rate of like $1,000 a day or something, right? For outfacing clients that aren't your homies, or,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say you have $1,000 a day